Hi, this is Alana Miller here, and I am currently day -4 of my transplant. So I finished today my last radiation treatment. I had two treatments, morning and midday, so it was 11 treatments overall. And then I have chemo tomorrow, the day after I get immunosuppressants, and the day after I have a off day, then I get my transplant. So 40 days away from the transplant. And just to address the elephant in the room, which is my ridiculous tan. So this is from radiation, and it's not a good look. Like, look at my head. It's like I feel fried. The way my husband described it is I look like I got lost in a desert where they do atomic bomb testing. And I feel like that sums it up pretty well. I mean, I'm like everything's dry and crackly but other than that, I don't feel that bad. Maybe a little tired. My stomach's a little queasy. But so far, the radiation hasn't been terrible. But it's gonna get harder next week when I actually am getting the transplant and my counts are lower and I've gotten the chemo and all that. So that's just my little brief update. I wanted to talk for a few minutes about a concept that is important when it comes to getting through difficult or challenging experiences like this one, and kind of helps me keep a positive attitude, or if I'm not feeling well, to not take that too seriously, and that's mindfulness. So um, I know meditation and mindfulness is really popular now. Even you could say it's a little faddish, but when you get down to the fundamental principle, it's a timeless principle. So mindfulness is defined as awareness of the present moment without judgment. So awareness of the present moment without judgment. So awareness, that's the opposite of that would be not paying attention, which is what we do most of the time. That's like you're driving home the same route you always do, and then all of a sudden you're home and you're like, how did I get here? You're kind of zoned out the whole time. That would be the opposite of attention. So attention is just paying attention, like really noting rather than getting lost in thought, noting what's happening. And then to the present moment, as opposed to when we are attending, we're often ruminating about the past or projecting into the future, either worrying about the future or fantasizing about the future. One feels bad, one feels good, but either way, it's not the present moment. So in mindfulness, we're aware of the present moment. And then the last part of it is the concept of without judgment. So with a sense of openness and curiosity. And so often, even when we are aware of our present moment experience, we are either grasping onto it because we like it, and then we're disappointing when it ends. So an example would be like a really good meal, or a cup of coffee, or a fun date, or something that is joyful but by its very existence also temporary. Or we're rejecting things that are negative. We're in physical pain or emotional pain, we're angry at someone, and we're constricting against that. And really, when you're practicing being aware, and you do this day in and day out over the course of days, weeks, months, years, you just start to notice what is an inherent human pattern, which is that it just comes and goes. You want something, you get it, you feel good, then you get used to it, and then you want something else, and then something bad happens, you feel bad, but then you get over it. And I know for myself with practice, it just allows me to not take any of my thought patterns, any of my emotional states too seriously, because I know it will end. And that's just true of life. Nothing good lasts forever, nothing bad lasts forever. To tell a brief story about this, I remember at a meditation retreat I was at, I did this 7 day silent retreat, and you're in this context really paying attention to all sorts of small things. And I just remember that experience of looking forward to a morning cup of coffee, and I would obsess over it. And then I just think this cup of coffee was gonna solve all my problems. And I get the coffee, and it smells so good, and I take that first sip, and it's everything I thought it would be and more. And then I take the second sip, and it's still really good, and then the third sip, and it's pretty good, and then by the fourth sip I'm thinking about what breakfast is going to be and fantasizing about, oh, breakfast is going to be so good. And that's how we operate all the time. We think something's going to make us happy permanently, and then it's just a temporary thing. And that can be disappointing to some people, but I actually find it comforting because the opposite is true, and that's when bad things happen. That's temporary as well. And like I said in yesterday, I don't know if it was yesterday or 2 days ago, the video is that even when our circumstances don't change, how we feel about it changes. So I know, for example, I'm going to get more sick than I am now, but then it's going to end. And then even if it doesn't end and it lasts a really long time, I'm going to get used to it. I'm going to find a way to deal with it. You know, I did it last time, I can do it again. And so it just allows me to go through an experience like this without getting too caught up in any particular thought of being discouraged by the situation. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.